So, what are the challenges that we as an organisation and we as people face? Well, I've mentioned it already, but I'll say it again. There's a lack of knowledge amongst the medical profession. The attitude, there's nothing that can be done. Well, that's not necessarily the case. It's not for me to stand here and start talking about what can be done in terms of treating people, but potentially there are things that can be done. What's been really important to the development of Fifth Sense is the relationship I've had with Carl Philpott, with an ENT consultant who is actually diagnosing and treating patients. And yeah, we're a long way from being able to successfully treat everybody, but potentially there are people that can be helped. Lack of understanding and empathy, again, it's only a sense of smell, it could be worse. Well, I challenge that. Just to give you the idea for the name Fifth Sense, it sort of serves a dual purpose, is to say to people, look, on one hand, sense of smell, if you were to stop anyone in the street and go, okay, if you had to lose one of your senses, and people say this to me, as people have said this to me when they find out what I do, they go, well, if you had to lose one sense, it would be a sense of smell though, wouldn't it? I'm like, so do you have any experience of sensory impairment to be able to make that statement? Anyway, but you know, if you, I think most people a lot of people would say, if you had to lose one sense, it'd be a sense of smell. There is this perception that smell is the fifth and least important of all our senses. But at the same time, the name Fifth Sense is to remind people that we have 5 ways in which we connect with the world around us. And they're all of equal importance, but they just work in very different ways. And they work together as well. I think that's something that people don't really understand, is actually how our senses all cross over and work together to enable us to experience the world around us. Relatively little clinical research being undertaken in this area into finding new treatments. An invisible disability, as I've already mentioned. This is a really important point. General lack of awareness of the deep and profound role that the sense of smell plays in our lives. And to add to that, the sense of taste, how that works and how that affects us too. So what's Fifth Sense here to do? Well, firstly, we provide support, advice, and a signpost to potential diagnosis and treatment where such a thing exists. So the relationships we have with clinicians, particularly in the UK. Research. So in the longer term, Fifth Sense will raise funds that are used to fund research into, better understanding the sense of smell and taste and finding new treatments. And then underpinning everything we do, and vital really, is education. Because this goes back to my own experience really, is that it wasn't until I started to understand the importance of the sense of smell, how it works and how it affects us, that I was able to reconcile with the changes that had taken place in my life were to do with the loss of the sense of smell. And in terms of, one of our biggest challenges is the fact that people don't see the big deal with smell and taste impairments. The reason for that is because most of us, with us, when we have a smell and taste, we don't pay attention. We underestimate its importance. We don't pay attention to it. So the strategy that underpins our organisation is that we have to play a leading role in educating society so that people can then begin to understand these senses, the impact that they can have on people. And then you're demonstrating the need for research, for more.